Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be working on removing the intake off of the Audi A4 in preparation to install the JHM K04-R turbo kit. Our first steps, we're going to have to take off the intake manifold and make sure we're going to do a carb clean, and we're also going to replace the injectors with some S3 injectors. Alright, and then we'll move on to doing the turbo install, but today we're going to focus on removing the intake manifold and doing the carb clean. Alright. Okay guys, we got the intake off, the intake manifold off, as you can see. Let me get in closer here so you can see the valves. As you can see, they're pretty dirty. Alright. This was really a pain in the ass. We did have one casualty. One of the tabs on the ejector connection broke off, but we'll see if we can fix that or replace it. Now, here are the flaps we took out. Right now we have them soaking in some seafoam, so we're going to see if that helps clear it off. If not, we're going to probably take some brake cleaner or something else, see if we can scrub it and get it as clean as possible before we put it back in. Alright guys, so on to the cleaning of the valves. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm scrubbing these valves as best as I can with a scrub brush, trying to get them as clean as possible, get all that gunk off the valves and also off of the ports going into them. It's coming along. As you can see, I'm using this brush I got from Harbor Freight, which seems to be helping a lot. I'm still gonna have to find some way to get on top of the valves and kind of do a uniform cleaning all the way around them. But for now, for the majority of the cleaning, this brush has been a really good option right now. I'm lucky. I got three valves. Not three valves. Three of these ports are closed off, so I can fill them up with carb cleaner and let them soak, and then I'm just scrubbing the hell out of them. And then once I get these to a decent clean, where I'm happy with how clean they are, I'll turn the motor a little more and try to close off this last valve port for these last two valves and clean that up, and we can start putting in the new injectors and buttoning this all back up. Alright, here we have the intake runner flaps that go into the valves. We're going to put this in. We have to keep the metal on the top. Oh, that's not good. Alright guys, here's a new plug for the injector. We're gonna just push these in and they should click. And that's it. And then we'll just push this back over and that should lock it in place, and then we're good to go. Now we can start working on putting the injectors in. Okay, so here we have the old injectors from the A4, and here we have our new injectors, which are S3 injectors. We have the compression ring and the holder for the compression ring here, which we took off the old injectors. We just finished cleaning them up. We're gonna install them on the new ones, and then we can work on installing them into the motor. Alright, here we have our first injector. We're going to put that into the bore. Okay. That's in, and we'll start putting the rest of them in. Alright guys, we have all 4 injectors in place and seated. Once they're properly seated, you should only be able to turn this maybe a couple degrees. It won't turn any further than that, and then you can line them up. So now we're ready to connect back the injectors to the plugs, and then start working on installing the intake manifold. Oh, you already tightened this?
As far as I could get it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tighten it more. Okay, here we have a new cam follower. We're going to put a little bit of assembly lube on it just to help on the first initial startup and braking. Alright, we're going to put the new high pressure fuel pump in, but before we do that, we're going to replace the old O-ring with a new one that we got from ECS Tuning.
Just work your way around.
Okay, we'll put a little oil on that just so it slides in good. And we're ready to go. Alright guys, we now have the intake manifold back on. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt. We had to, you know, go back and forth, wiggling it around, make sure nothing was getting snagged, make sure all the injectors connectors were seated properly and that they weren't hanging on it when we were putting on the intake manifold. So what we're gonna do is put the ignition on, see if we can prime the fuel pump and make sure that there's no leaks when it starts building pressure in the line. Just do a once over, and then the next step in the next video, we're going to start tearing off the old K03 turbo, and we're going to be installing the new S3 K04 turbo, K04-R from JHM. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment below. Please click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and keep wrenching.